Hello and welcome to episode 116 of the Take a Pull podcast. Almost a midnight edition here. I've been keeping Dec up all night until we've been able to start. Long old day here on a Thursday night, but we finally got here. We wouldn't miss it for the world. Gowran Park, their big champion chase day, isn't it? Gowran Park, which is
the start of the jump season for a lot of people.
And the Stole for me is the start of it. And then this is kind of the first big standalone. I know it's a 2-day festival and we're going to cover a bit of Friday as well.
We've been hanging around waiting on you all night, so I decided to put a lot of time into Friday.
And our listeners won't have much time to listen to it, but we'll have bookmarks on Spotify anyway. We'll be able to rattle through them. Dec's going to be doing go on.
No, I hanging around all evening getting stuck into Friday, and you tell me, look, come here, we throw Friday out the window, will we just do Saturday?
Sorry. Busy all evening. So you'll be doing most of the heavy lifting here, Dec. All my heavy lifting was done carrying the jacks from long story short, moving in fun. But let's get into it. Gowran Park, and we're going to cover a bit of the Arc as well. That's where I can't help. So we'll have a few tips for the Arc and the supporting card. Decent card out in France. You're not going this year, Dec. You've been to the Arc a few times, haven't you? You preferred it when it was the old Longchamp, though, didn't you?
I loved the old Longchamp. Yeah, I thought it was beautiful. The hanging baskets, really, really nice. I remember it was so you'd get in for the tenner or something into the old Longchamp. Like, it was really, really cheap. And then so someone else was left in charge of the tickets we went to the first year. The new Longchamp was open, and the tickets were 75 quid or something. Like, they were, compared to what they used to be. And once you were in, like, so it's €75 tickets. We ended up in the middle of the course, in the car park.
Out where the Abbey is.
Yeah, we went over. We went over to watch that. We had to go outside. Like, well, I thought I was outside, but like, if I didn't stand over there on Arc Day, but you have to go outside the railings then. And we went over to watch across the car park over to watch the Abbey. But it went from being a tenner in to you're in. You can get to the Prix, you can go wherever you want. The €75 to be in a shitty little stand.
You can't see the Abbey. Nowhere to be seen.
Well, you can go out and see the Abbey, but like, you can't see anything else.
You need to get a taxi to it. I think it's that far away, isn't it? The way the Longchamp is, the way it's set up.
And actually, you know what? Not only were we out in the car park that year, but wasn't I looking at? I got the race times wrong and had it there an hour
early for the Abbey.
We were an hour early. Say it was getting there an hour early. We were there 2 hours early. But I think I've been 3 times now. But I've been meaning to get back, and it just keeps getting away from me. But yeah, look, it's still very reasonable. I love Paris, Andy. Paris gets a lot of stick. I love just walking around Paris. I think it's beautiful. Parisians get a lot of stick about being rude and all. I enjoy how rude they are. I think it's deadly. It's just I thoroughly enjoy it.
Yeah, fair. I enjoy how rude they are. There's a good one.
I think it's class. Like, it's kind of
put the cigarette out on you and everything.
Yeah, put it out in your
face. Bloke playing an accordion in the background. That white face paint.
I did. I was there with my dad one time. And I think we're sitting out and he ran out of smoke, so whatever. And I said, "Sorry, sir. Would it be possible for my father to borrow a cigarette off you?" Your man was basically like, "No, I've only about 16 left." Like, thanks, boy.
I wouldn't get him down to through an hour, probably.
So I do enjoy Paris.
Only 16 left. Yeah, we'll deal with.
He still wouldn't give him one.
Right, we'll deal with Paris a little bit later. You're on a time trial here, Dec, for Friday. As I said, all the heavy lifting's going to be done by yourself this evening because I am, for the most part, unprepared. So let's run through that. Manners up Gowran Park Friday. Take it away with the 201 maiden hurdle.
Yeah, 4-year-old maiden hurdle. There's probably two of them carrying. There's not enough to go on this. There's probably two of them carrying some little bit of form. You can make a case for staying the game. There's 8 lengths forward on hurdle debut, and you might have to help me out with this one, Andy. She I feel like that South African president, or what he was. Do you remember? Oh,
Shingus Dragon, is it?
In the beginning.
Shingus Dragon, is it?
The Shingus Dragon, yeah.
We'll go with Shingles Dragon, we'll go with.
Yeah, anyway. Well held toward the last day and fell the race before that. So I'm going to take a chance, Andy, on Rackham and Stackham. There's a newcomer for Gavin Cromwell.
All right, okay.
There's no other there's no other reason other than I think it's quite a poor field, and you're looking through.
Does Gavin tend to send his better ones into bumpers nowadays? That was used to be a tip in itself. It's not really anymore because he's probably getting better stock.
Yeah,
but he has won maiden hurdles at this time of year with horses first time up. But he's also done the complete opposite and got the likes of Flora and Porter in off marks in the 90s. So
yeah.
we'll see what mood Gav wakes up in.
He's 3 in here as well, I think.
Yeah.
Does he have trees too? I'm just looking. Yeah, look. I'm not advising anyone to have a bet in this, but I just thought it was really poor racing. Maybe Gavin might have a nice one.
Yeah, he does have 3. The reserve gets in.
A better one than the rest, I mean.
Yeah, Rhythm of Choice was his reserve. He gets in though. Yeah, there's already a non-runner here as we record. Kilt is a non-runner there for Philip Rothwell. The 236 deck, the Gowran Park Racing Club maiden hurdle. Who do you like here?
The Majax Hills in here was, fairly modest bumper form, but he wasn't bought to running bumpers, was he?
Modest based on his reputation, I'd say. Like he obviously ran to a nice level, just didn't win one. I don't think, did he?
No, I don't think he won one. And yeah, but like that's what I say. He wasn't bought to running bumpers. He was bought to jump. And I can see
waste of time.
Yeah, I can see him looking like a different horse now this year going jumping. But I'll take Letos here, Tony Mullen's horse, who's only a 5-year-old, has chased in France, followed Lockbox home, Berry House at Easter. Keynesburg was told him that not staying until he started identifying him as a mare recently, and he gets 2.5 really, really well. I don't think Letos stayed that day. As far as I remember, the two of them were well clear, and yeah, he's a very interesting horse with to have chasing experience already, and running as a 5-year-old back in the spring in Ireland is something you don't see too often. So
yeah,
I'd have it between him and Majax Hill, but I'd side with the horse with all the experience, all the jumping experience.
Letos, right, rated 120, should be competitive. With a rating like that. The William Hill Each Way Extra Challenge Series Handicap Hurdle at 3:11 is the next race. This William Hill Each Way Extra is that's running all season, I think, Dec. It's a new incentive. I think it's trainers get points from for 1st to 10th or something. You get certain points, and the winning trainer gets 50 grand at the end of the year. So Willie Mullins probably gets 50 grand at the end of the year if he has the horses where. But I don't think I think it is aimed at races in this bracket, i.e. top weight kind of early one, around 110, or 110 carries 11, 12 or something like that.
That's what it is,
So look, it's a good competitive race, Dec. 18 runners. Who do you fancy?
Yeah, look, watching the clock is dropping back in trip here for the second handicap, so I don't think that's ideal. One I liked was Bano Blaze. Plugged on the maiden on heavy ground, so probably going to handle the ground we get tomorrow. It's been steadily improving in handicaps and did have excuses, probably hampered the last day late on the race. You forgive that, so not as bad as the form. It's only a 5-year-old, but the one I really fancy, Andy, is the Dermot McLaughlin horse, Licio. Much
Okay.
improved run on second handicap at Galway. Kept on well. Hard to know if even the horse was off the last day when he was staying on well, if he's ever been off, and you know, you're hoping he will be off now tomorrow. I think he's a big chance.
Yeah, north of 20-1 at the minute as well, so decent price for Licio and Dermot McLaughlin. Probably be shorter by morning time. The 346 then is the Irish Stallion Farms EBF Pat Walsh Memorial Mares Hurdle. This is over 2 miles. Royal Hollow, one we've probably spoken plenty about in previous taps. Adela Icon 4-5 favourite. And then the Great Nudie for Colin Bow as well. Not a bad mare. The other two you could probably discount. Who do you like out of those three, Dec?
Look, I think Adela Icon should be winning this, right? 131 and getting weight.
Gets weight.
Yeah, getting weight. Like it should be, you know, open and closed. But the horse, Jack Hannah's horse there, Jordy Bell, Andy. Have a look at this one's form at all. No, we didn't have time.
No, 20-1 shot at the minute.
I'll tell you all about it. This horse won a point-to-point flat race. Didn't know there was such thing.
What?
And a place called
Finian Druidian. Is that Wales or something, is it?
Wales.
You can't have 2 F's and a bleeding Y and followed by 2 N's. That's like someone trying to cheat in Scrabble.
No.
How do you say that without saliva going down your chin?
I don't know, I'm spitting all over the screen.
All right, here.
Yeah, I thought that was like, Jesus, what was Shark going to run in it?
How do you even find the place? I'm gonna have to Google this place. Yeah, Shark Handling went. I can only assume this is in Wales because no one has a more whacked language.
It is in Wales, yeah. He must have bought the horse there.
I have to ask Reggie. Images. Oh, there's like if I've searched images, it's just this big ugly rock. It's just like literally every picture is just rock. Oh, there's some sheep, and there's Shark Handling with the trophy.
Oh, stop. Can you get that up?
I've got Shark Handling with the trophy, and then I've got Shark Handling, a rock, and some sheep. It's one of the most, and there's a train, of course, with that. This has to be one of the most stereotypical. Oh, there's two dudes fighting in like night gear as well. This is what happens if you Google Finian Druid, and we're getting very off topic. But yeah, I'll
Have you got it up? Oh, geez.
I can try. Yeah.
I see the picture of Shark.
Would that be worth the petrol money? Like surely you'd owe them money winning that point of
He must have bought the horse there that morning.
Yeah.
You know. Surely didn't
maybe.
travel the horse over. Surely bought the horse there. Like.
Anyway, did you?
Yeah,
you think Willie Mullins mare will win? Yeah, Della Icon. Yeah. Okay, so bear with me. So I'll see if I can just do this now real quick. Getting very off topic, but I may as well enjoy myself.
This is good content, surely.
I'm going to media here. Apologies for anyone on Spotify. You're probably better off fast forwarding about 10 or 20 seconds. Will this work for me?
Surely anyone is just at both ways currently Googling Funian
and Druid, and you'll see a picture of Shark, a rock, and some sheep. Documents. I need to resave it. Give me 1 second. Let's see if I can work this out. There we go. So that's the rock. That's what this place is famous for. Anyone that's on Spotify is not going to be
Andy,
unfortunately
that's the Holy Stone of Clonrichert. I'm bad at dead.
Yeah, if I was bothered now, I'd get the picture of Shark with the trophy, but we
missed the first hole up in the corner there.
I know, yeah, I'm after get it changed back now. We'll end up missing the first race at this rate. But there we go. There's Gowran back to the corner. Right, I'll leave that one up for a minute. So yeah, there's the rock of Finian Druden. Anyway, moving on. So famous for a rock, some sheep, some dudes fighting in knight armor, and Shark Handling winning a point-to-point bumper. So there you go. Right, The 420 William Hill each way extra challenge series handicap hurdle again. So this is over 2.5 miles deck. Oh, look who's in here. Is this what you wanted to do Friday?
No. I wasn't even going to mention him.
Yeah, I didn't even know he was running. Oh my God, I feel terrible now. Go on, talk about Countdown. How's he getting on?
Look, we've had absolutely no luck, and just when we thought we were going to get a run, a few weeks ago, it was showing a warm, dry spell this week, and then 2 hurricanes came in off the Atlantic. So it's been raining here in Dublin since about 6 o'clock, and
heavy enough, yeah.
11 now, and I'd be surprised now if we wake up in the morning and the ground's going to be suitable. And don't know what the plan is. We'll decide in the morning whether he's going to travel or not. And he may travel, and like what we fifth, fourth, or was this the fourth hurdle race on the card as well? Far from ideal, like, you know. You only have to look through his form to know that he's very ground dependent. Like we had to run at Punchestown earlier in the season. It was heavy. We decided not to take a chance because he didn't want to, you know, leave a season behind. And we were to go to Downpatrick. It was actually called off in June because of the rain. Like,
right?
How's your luck? We just haven't had any luck with him. Even when we got to Market Raisin, it started raining an hour before the race. Like, just nothing has gone his way. But look, the ground wasn't an excuse in Market Raisin. It wasn't enough to really change the game. But he's had no luck, and now we thought we'd get a run. We just like to run at this stage.
Yeah,
it would be great to get a run. If he does run, he's probably going to need it, but only he knows, really. Like, you know, so I wouldn't be backing him if he does run, because I think he'll need it. He's always needed a run off a break, and I'd say if he handles the ground, he does run, he'll travel, and he could look like the winner, you know, 2 out. But I'd imagine he'll take a blow, and he might run on again for a place. But that's where we're at with him. Been very, very unlucky. But it'd be nice to get a run. It would have been nice to run tomorrow, and then, you know, maybe try to pick up a race before the season's out. But
right,
it is what it is. We're approaching the winter. Everyone's rubbing their hands together with the weather, because it means the jumps are coming thick and fast. But it's been we've been hoping the rain stayed away. But look, we are. The favourite and the Arctic Flame, 5-year-old mare, she won a maiden the last day. She's placed efforts before that. She's up and trip. I think she's a nice enough horse, and you know, well, I don't often. Well, she's not the one I want to be with here, but I struggle to put you off her. The one I'm gonna go, Andy, is the Spanish bred Kill One.
Well, Kill One, but Kill Company.
Yeah. Look, the saddle slipped into that Artig, but like he was going okay in the Fred Winter when he unseated. You know, he's won a maiden back in August. Only a 4-year-old. I think he's a nice enough horse, and I can see him. I can see the two of them going really well here. But I'd be siding with Kill One. Now, I don't have many Spanish breds win on heavy ground in Kilkenny, but yeah, like that's the thing. If we were getting our ground and everything's going our way, I think it's quite a winnable race tomorrow.
Yeah,
particularly off his mark. But look, we're at the mercy of the gods. So it's Kill One for me.
Kill One for Dec. Best luck with Countdown there on at the 420 there on Friday. Right, the Thomastown Handicap Hurdle 455 is the next race. 2.5 miles again. Who do you like here, Dec?
A trucker's cruising for me, Andy. He was 12 lengths fifth on a stable debut for Gordon Elliott at Navan. It was the race we touched on the other night because Jadil was second in it.
Yeah.
He's by Fleming's fair, so you'd imagine he'll handle a bit of cutting the ground. The hood goes on. I think we'll see another step forward from him.
Nice.
Look, spread the fates in here. Not off both handicap runs, I don't think, but off since April. So maybe the next day. But yeah, Truckers Cruising, I'd be confident enough about.
Truckers Cruising, and the lucky last listed mare's Bumper. Anything you saw there that tickled your fancy?
Yeah, look, Brosna Queen won. She won the Bumper at Punchestown in June. Zanush was back in third. And we really talked Zanush up that day. She'd won a Fairy House, I think, at Easter. And look, we weren't to know she'd been on the baked beans and the Boar's Eye potato waffles since that win. But Brosna Queen won well. The second has won over hurdle since. But I'm gonna go for the favourite, Andy, laid on, and like she bolted up on her debut. And I actually got a tip for her off the barman in the water side. And I'd never discuss racing with him. Like, do you know what I mean? He might ask me, have I been at the races, but he certainly wouldn't be getting into discussions with. I wouldn't be going, geez, Derek's after giving me a tip there.
Have one now from Derek the barman.
And he said, like, did you see that race? But also, we were in it. The girl in the tent beside us at Electric Picnic was actually called Laid On. So,
right.
Look, if one more do you need, Derek the barman of the board sides, this thing's an absolute good thing, and it's named after the girl that was in the tent beside us at EP. So the stars are aligning here.
6-5, go collect. Right, so let's jump into the 120 on Saturday, which is the William Hill Each Way Extra Challenge Series 3-year-old maiden hurdle. We were talking about this race just before we came online. I'll
be honest, Andy, that felt like an interview now.
What did that? Right, it did. Well, it's gonna for the most part continue here because I hope you have something here. We've got an expert eye in here. We've got 2 soldiers' calls, a horse by Mendelssohn who Aidan O'Brien ran in a Kentucky Derby.
Did he not? Did he not win a Dewhurst?
Mendelssohn.
Yeah.
He won a juvenile turf, and he won the UAE Derby, I think.
Did he? Sure, he didn't win a Dewhurst, or was he?
No, U.S. Navy flag. He was a big price. The U.S. Navy flag beat him.
Aidan O'Brien
was second.
4 home.
Aidan 3 or 4 home that day. Yeah, and he had that. The other one, what's it? 3 and 4 pence, and then something else. I don't know, but they're all U.S. bred. I'm pretty sure. I think they might have all been by Warfront. Maybe one could have been by Scat Daddy. I think they might have all been by Warfront. Maybe Warfront, Scat Daddy. Anyway, all that speed. But Mendelssohn, second in the Dewhurst, and then he went globe trotting, and then they ended his race before he started in the Kentucky Derby, didn't they? Out of the gates,
like But a bucket of rain, like all day. It was the race was out before he even got to the stalls, but they made sure it went no further than that anyway. They took him out.
Yeah. Anyway, so his representative is G-Force Jenny. What a name. Gavin Cromwell and Connor Stone Walsh teaming. There's a tongue tie on there as well, and she has a bit of form, 6th and 3rd in her first 2 hurdle starts. Have you seen anything you like here in the opener, Dec?
Yeah, you know I love a Dark Angel, Andy.
Yeah,
look, Combs was second at Down Royal, and the third one last week, having already won. That's the horse called Hopes Are High, and Hopes Are High. It beat What's New. Like, there's a bit of form to this race. Combs actually had 3 runs on the flat and one at the 3rd time of asking at Tipperary. So, I think this one's fairly straightforward, Andy. You're making the meal of that one there.
I know. So it's Combs for Dec. The 155 is the Joe Ballard Memorial Handicap Hurdle. 12 runners in here, Dec, and it's probably not the strongest of races. So who's the one you like here? It's one of these. Something has to win though. So
I actually don't like any of them, Andy. Daydream Nation, like, bolted up in the point March 5-year-old point. Had risk away behind when he was second. Before that, it's some kind of form to go on, but it's not looking like a vintage maiden hurdle. Jack Moon, like, when you look at his form and go 3rd to Sorturo, and I'll Sort That, but he was actually 49 lengths behind Sorturo and 37 lengths behind I'll Sort That. So
Who's counting?
yeah, but I suppose it's still more form. Look, that is probably really, really good form, and you. I know
In the
you.
context of this race.
Yeah, but yeah. No, look, I mean, Sorturo and I'll Sort That were well clear that day. Like, and I know we are picking apart the champion bumper already, but and I agree with what you're saying and the point you make, but like we'd seen I'd Sort That win well last week, and then
Yeah.
you know, Sortudo was placed, I think, in the champion bumper. So
Yeah.
yeah, but look, I don't know who wins this race, and I
Yeah. Less said, the better about it.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
Fair enough. Well, let's go on to something that you might like more. The Racing TV Handicap Hurdle, Division 1, not to 100, 2.5 miles. This should be a little bit more up your street. Who do you like here?
Yeah, look, I gave Stone Cardy a good mention last week, and I think did I? Or was that?
Yeah.
I think I was that just one of the days you didn't do a pod. And
I think that you might have just been on a solo there with that one.
But anyway, back Stone Cardy last week is a non-runner. But no, I did mention this horse last week at the show.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
An eye-catching second on handicap debut, but that was back in May, and he's been off since. He's up £1 for that. The layoff has put me off in this race, even though I did fancy him last week. So I've sided with Wild Monday, who was staying on second on handicap debut. Now has got £3. I'd prefer he's got the £1 that Stone Carty has got, but was staying on well in maiden hurdles as well that were all shorter than this. So I think Wild Monday could be tough to beat here.
One mandate then for Dec.
What?
Sorry?
Wild Monday.
Wild Mandate. Right, and then it's a 305 as a Division 2, again 2.5 miles, not to 100. Yeah, keep carrying me, Dec. Who do you like?
Yeah, I found this one tough enough, but I started with the toothpicker, and it wouldn't be a strong fancy now, but he's ran well on soft ground, particularly on handicap debut here at Gowran in January. This step up and trip, I think, will suit. But if there was one that was going to suddenly improve and surprise you, it's probably another girl. She showed some promise in maidens, but she could show more improvement now on Saturday, but I'm not overly keen on either of them, but I'd be more confident about the toothpicker than another girl.
The toothpicker. Yeah, awful long time now with the toothpicker. As you said there, just 858 days, new trainer. That's going to be a huge price.
No, how do you know if 800 and the toothpicker?
The toothpicker. The toothpicker has been off the track for 858 days, May 2023.
No.
I was looking at it here.
No. Oh my God.
You're good. That could be a triple figure price. You can stand by it if you want. Yeah, unless you thought that was 2025.
Who hang on a minute.
Just make sure you have the right one there now.
What do I read?
Rightio.
Yeah, geez, you're right, Andy. Thanks for putting me wide to that, because when I was reading through this form earlier, I vividly remember that second, that Gowran by the toothpicker, and that was
Uncle Garrett. That was it.
Yeah. January 22.
Right.
I vividly remember it. So that must have been just January just gone. Yes, scrap that. We're hoping for it. We're hoping for another girl. Miraculous improvement. Look, it's not a race that I had already said I wasn't overly confident before I got me dates crazily mixed up.
Yeah, well, look, there's plenty of fish to fry on this card. The 340s.
We've got plenty more winners already today, so take this race off, like.
Yeah, absolutely right. So the Jack Duggan Memorial Handicap Hurdle is next, over 3 miles. It's the return of Eagles Rain, a good old horse for Ross O'Sullivan. Up the top of the weights there, Cinnamon Girl, who's been relatively consistent in her last 5 runs, bar one. Cheerful Chap, who I think was a non-runner. Maybe a Clonmel, maybe not. Philip Rothwell, a few non-runners there, Clonmel. 11 runners here, Dec, though. Who's your fancy?
Yeah, look, Eagles Ryan, he's going to get his ground, you'd imagine. He was second in April. He kind of bounced back to form off £3 lower. But the £3 might be a bit harsh, like, you know, for a horse who's was out of form and then suddenly shows a bit. You get £3 for not winning, coming second. But saying that, he won the Lartigue, didn't he? So, like, they've had plenty of fun with him. He was third in a Fred Winter at 100 to 1 or something. Yeah, he's owned by Tommy Ward, who went social media famous after that because a bit of a character, really, really nice man, like the absolute gent he is. Tommy, very, very fond of him. And look, I think it'll be tough now. He's off since April, top weight here. But I like Custom Taylor, who's also off since April, Andy. But although Eagles Rain is the younger horse, I think there might be more to come from Custom Taylor. He's won his last two. I just think he's a horse going the right way. And I fancied him a couple of weeks ago in a conditions hurdle. I think it was at Galway. He didn't run. He was a non-runner. But I think there's definitely another run in him, whether it's Saturday now or the day after that, maybe it just takes the run. But looking through the field, there's not an awful lot to be afraid of.
Yeah, like I was even nearly given I only had a quick glance at this race, but I was nearly given an outside chance to watch the Weather, who only ran last week, but runs off a £7 lower hurdles mark, was a winner at Punchestown over fences last November, and ran quite well in a handicap hurdle in May behind Digby. Was only beaten 4 lengths, ran in a couple of listed handicap hurdles and chases, one of which at the Galway Festival. So he takes a bit of a drop in class here. I could have given him a squeak and he'll probably be an each way price, but don't know if it's enough to make him, a bet here. But if I'm giving a horse like that a chance, it is not the strongest handicaps. I would agree with that. The big race then, the PWC Champion Chase, Grade 2, 5 runners, Dec. The Galway Plate winner, Western Fold. The headliner in here, getting weight off Blood Destiny, and is the highest rated in the field as well. Obviously race fit too. Trip will sue, ground will sue. I would imagine this will be a formality because Blood Destiny, I'll never back him over this trip. Affordale Fury back from a bit of a layoff injury. Monbeg Park, I don't trust him, a bit of a tail swish on him. And Rebel Gold, God love him, big fan of Gowran Park, local trainer, local horse, really likeable 12-year-old, but he's probably flying too high here. But who do you like, Dec?
It's probably Western Fold. Now he's probably only highest rated because he's been in the handicap, so it's kind of easier to climb the handicap ladder. But yeah, look, Blood Destiny was a horse I was very fond of as a juvenile, but I just think he wants a flat 2 miles with a short home straight. I think he'd be up to Grade 1 level now if he got those conditions. So is there anywhere?
Like, you couldn't even say Aintree, you just probably get caught in the straight.
The straight's too long an entry for him, I think.
Kempton. Desert Orchid at Kempton, maybe. Christmas. Handicap nowadays, wouldn't be a problem to him. I'd say he sees, the little spider, that Spider-Man meme where they point at each other? All the same Spider-Man, I'd say him and Saint Sam every single morning.
The same horse.
Literally, you don't see them in the same place.
Yeah,
like they're literally in the same place. Right, I think Western Fold just goes and wins that, Dec. I agree. But he won't be napping the top heel. I'd say he'd be shade of odds on. Blood Destiny could keep him honest, but I don't think so. The William Hill Each by Extra Challenge Series Handicap Chase. So this continues in a slightly better caliber of horse in here as well. 12 runners, really competitive actually. This is a kind of an underrated race. Good old Banjax in here as well. He mugged me off at some stage at the end of last season, if I recall. Dec, who do you like here?
I found this one tough, Andy, and I kind of Didn't really like any of them. But in the end, I've gone with Ballybourne Belter.
Okay.
Yeah, she's one off a pound higher over hurdles. You know, there was that Ballon Row. It's no point asking me how long ago it was because it could have been 2019. So I've been waiting for him tonight. There's me saying, I was hours looking at this, waiting on you.
And you suddenly 2023 became 2025.
I was so long looking at it. I vividly remember the race from 2022, January 2022. But I thought she was going okay when she fell the last day, and she's ran well in all her handicap chases. And
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's a race that's going to take an awful lot of winning. I'm actually not sure many of them are going to be off in this.
Something has to win.
Yeah, but she's going to win because I'm not sure. It doesn't strike me as an overly trying race. Like,
yeah, Nosnaree was probably the one that I came down on. If he could forgive his last run, he probably.
Oh, jeez, you want to forgive his last 12 runs, Andy? Like,
yeah, that's what I was thinking. There's not like it was a good effort at Galway at the festival, where he made all the running. Yeah, he's won a few times around Killarney and Tip. So, yeah, well, I like again. It's probably not a race I'm going to be backing in. He was beaten by Dancing City over in maiden hurdles. It got to within 4 lengths of him. So, obviously a long way below that form ever since, really. But yeah,
probably flattered by that form and
probably flattered because Dancing City he always took a hot minute to get going, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd take a chance on him in his first time pieces, but yeah, I think there's a better bet on the next race.
Yeah, I feel like I've taken enough chances on him, and I really fancied him some days. And
yeah,
he's probably not well handicapped.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Final race on Saturday then, Dec, is the SIS Supporting Irish Racing Beginners Chase. Yeah, this is where the kind of season starts, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good old Franciscan Rock. He's afraid of fences, isn't he? I would have thought.
Well,
yeah, he's ran 3 times.
He was afraid of 3 miles as well, and suddenly he started getting 3 miles well last year.
Yeah, no, I think this. Yeah, I think he was a bit afraid of his fences, but it does see the return of Tap on the Go, a horse that we talked about a hell of a lot last year. Mixed it with the likes of McClory and Floor in the Park, and was beaten at a short price by Old Man Dingle, and then started looking well handicapped, and then everyone and their dog tipped him for the Martin Pipe, and he ran well in the Martin Pipe for a long way. Was 4th in it behind Woodhoo, and in the grand scheme of things, nothing was going to touch Woodhoo that day. Like, she was, basically thrown in. Ended up 2nd in the A3 hurdle. Then, he did kind of weaken. Like, he came from the back and just maybe didn't quite get home. So I'm going to wonder what his best trip is. I don't think he'll have much of an issue now, a year stronger, and in this grade, getting 2.5 miles over fences. I think he'll get it in time, but I think his stamina was kind of bordering on empty at the end of that Martin Pipe. I still think he's going to win this race, though. I'm looking forward to seeing how he gets on. But is he your fancy as well, Dec, or is there anything else in here that you want to say?
He would be, like, I'm a big fan of Franciscan Rock, but I wouldn't be rushing to back a horse in the beginner's chase in Ireland in the autumn the early autumn, that has tried it before and gone back hurdling and now is giving it another go. He's probably in limbo now over hurdles, having had a really good season last year.
Yeah.
And try get him handicapped over fences, but as you said, he was afraid of his fences. But as I was scrolling through, I got the Floor in the Park, and I was like, oh yeah, here we are.
Yeah.
No need to go any further. It was rated 135 over hurdles. Like, he was grade 1 placed at the Punchestown Festival. He's boy walking the park. He's bred for the job. But although
beat Tap on the Go over hurdles as well, giving him 3 pounds.
There's not really a way to explain it, but it's one of my favorite things to do early jump season or like even to think about sometimes over the summer, and when the foot fairies are running around, is just, you're thinking of those horses who finished the season well, and it was may well have been in handicaps, but who's going chasing? Who's going to find the more improvement? And I just feel that Tap and Go will find more improvement for the fence than Florida in the Park.
Yeah.
Just like when they haven't, maybe gone to the well too much and they haven't ran in a grade 1, and there's sometimes a bit of value about them as well. Early season, like I prefer to find, I prefer. I don't mean find one. You don't find one that's won a spring handicap, like it's there in front of you. Like we all watch racings, but I prefer to kind of watch them going chasing the next season and watch how they improve. You sometimes get a bit more value about them, but like they can show more improvement because they're chasers, like, whereas if you're a good hurdler, you mightn't be a better chaser. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're a grade 1 hurdler, like there's very few horses who are top class hurdlers and top class chasers, and I mean like a 2 mile grade 1 open company hurdler.
Size in Europe and Moscow Flyer, and you can maybe put New Mill in that category as well, but there's not many others.
No, like Size in Europe is the one I always think of. So like there's very, very few that, like, I'm in open class grade 1 2 mile hurdlers and grade 1 chasers.
Yeah, even over Thistle Crack, you could probably Stayers and the King George.
I'm not buying that because he was 3 miler and he was borderline dangerous as a chaser. I think, like, I know he won a King George as a novice, but
he wasn't saying after.
Let's be honest, it was a 4-runner race. Q Card was, not half the horse he had previously been. They were, he'd be. I know the horse, the Williams horse won an entry grade 1. But, like, me or you might get lucky in an entry grade 1 hurdle if you found the right field and you're on a going day. So anyway, tapping the go for me, Andy.
Tapping the go, no worries, bud. Same for me. I think he wins this too, so we'll see what price he is. Look, we're just for a minute, Dec, I'll run through the arc. I don't really fancy it for the Sun Chariot. I'm trying to visit other races, but again, don't want to run too far over. Saturday at Longchamp, I'm probably not going to waste too much people's time here. I do like Tennessee Stud in the Stayers race at 12:23. The Prix de Cadran is not a race I want to get too involved in, but the one I do want to get involved in is the Prix de Royalou for it's 1 mile and 6 for the 3-year-old fillies, or sorry, for not the 3-year-old fillies. I think it's any fillies, isn't it? Or is that on the Sunday? Bear with me there 1 second. No, it's on the Saturday. Bedtime story, Dec. We've been talking about what trip she's needed for a long time.
Yeah,
I've always argued.
I told you what she needs: 2.5 miles on a hurdle, because
so she should be in the Prix de Cadran.
No, 2.5 miles on a hurdle.
And a hurdle. So she should be in the maiden hurdle there on.
But she like that's the trip from hers, isn't it? And
yeah. Well, I
don't know what my thoughts on her, Andy, is that I thought they left the career behind when they won at Ascot. They won one of those races named after the palace, and I've said those things. I don't think he can do that to horses. I don't think he can. There's only so many miles on the clock. Like, you eat into their mileage when you do that, and it was unlike it from Connections now, to be honest. But
no, it's not usually.
Yeah, I don't think she's ever looked the same. I think she won, like, she was labouring the next time she won at Leopardstown. I think she was definitely feeling that run from.
I just think she's one pace. I think they've just been riding her wrong, personally. And like I'm not sure they even know what to do with her, because they had her in the Sun Chariot as well up this week. Instead of going for the Group 1 over a mile, they've gone for the Group 1 over 1 mile and 6. So yeah, for me, I think she's a great chance. I think she's needed a trip like this for a long time. I'd love if they just rode her from the front and just done what they did in the Windsor Castle, Windsor Chesham. Sorry, the Chesham, but the Windsor Castle's 5 furlong. If they did what they did in the Chesham Stakes and just, gave her a kick in the belly early and just, let her use her stride, I think she'd be very hard to beat here. It's not the strongest look in the Group 1s. Skipping ahead then, Dec 2 to Sunday. One of the best meetings kind of in the world, in my opinion, at Arc Sunday. It's hard to not get excited about it. Actually, just before I do, was Drenton you liked on the Saturday on Arc weekend? No, I doubt it. Or was Drenton that kind of?
To be honest, Andy, I hadn't looked, but yeah, let me on look really quick because
Go on.
there's a conditions 3-year-old.
There is, yeah. Isaac Newton running for Aidan O'Brien.
Who was it?
Isaac Newton's in there for Aidan O'Brien, yeah.
Yeah, I just remember Denmark running this race and
won it. I think winner or second. I think he won
second. I think
second,
yeah. But it's all it's interesting to see what Aidan runs in it. Like is now I know Denmark had mounted to nothing. I'd have got him hurdling. I had backed them for the Derby, but I just think maybe I don't think it would be a surprise to see an Epsom Derby horse come from that race.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
from Aidan's stable. But anyway, Isaac Newton, as Davy said, is in there. Yeah. I'll let you move on to Sunday.
All right, on to Sunday. Look, we'll rattle through it really quick. The 1240s to Marcel Boussac. Daughter of St. Mark's Basilica diamond necklace. It's hard to not be impressed with her at Leopardstown. I thought she was very impressive, well on top of the line. Took a long time to pull up. And you were right. Her debut form that hasn't really worked out in what's traditionally a strong race at the Curragh, but it was hard to really knock what she did on her second start. Now she's up against two very smart fillies in Green Spirit and Ozone, two fillies with very recognisable French colours, the Wertheimer colours, and both are unbeaten. Green Spirit 4 from 4, Ozone 2 from 2. Look, I haven't delved too much into the French form, but I know what I saw at Leopardstown, and that was what looked like to me a filly that could win a classic next year.
And just with that race, and before you move on, you mentioned she took a long time to pull up. So did the No Meat horse, Catch You Sleeping. I was watching Sleeping, so I don't know what else she has entries in, but I'd say that race could work out really well.
Yeah, Catch You Sleeping is only in the Irish 1,000 guineas at the minute, so no upcoming entries. Early entry there for her. And then Aileen, the winner, the Park Hill in there as well for Carl Burke. She wouldn't be without a chance, but I don't know if that was the strongest Park Hill that we're ever going to see in the world. So, it'd be diamond necklace for me if she's odds against. I think she'd have a great chance. The Lagardère at 115, then Dec.
Yeah,
Porto. Yeah, good out Italy. Another one that's mugged me off from time to time. Way too keen in the national stakes, but he did run pretty well though. I thought that was, given that he hasn't really settled, he's a bit dumb, I think, as well, for lack of a better term. Like he doesn't really give himself much of a chance, but there's definitely a very, very good horse in there. I just wonder if patience might be running thin on this horse. Now, Aidan O'Brien did win this race last year with Camille Pizarro, who was a horse of a similar profile to Italy in the sense that he was really, really impressive at the start of the season and then disappointed a good few times, including a defeat in a sales race at Doncaster before coming back and winning this race at a big price. I think it was under Christophe Soumillon as well. Borderline genius ride up the rail. Down the stand side, wasn't it, actually, I think. I'd definitely give Italy a chance here. If he settled, he'd have a great chance. But I don't know, Dec, if you have an opinion on this one.
No opinion on the Lagardère.
No opinion on the Lagardère. Is there a filly in there? No fillies in the Lagardère this year.
Aidan often runs one, doesn't he, in the Lagardère?
Yeah, happily won the Lagardère, I'm pretty sure. Right, next up is the race where you need to get a taxi out there. You need the best pair of binoculars in the world. You wouldn't be able to see it. You have to be out in the middle of the track. It's the Prix de l'Abbé at 150. Look, these in the sprint division, regardless of the level, they're pretty much all taking turns. She's quality definitely deserves one. Second a bunch of times and has ran one bad race all season, really. You'd have to give her an each way chance, I would have thought.
Yeah, definitely. It's an each way price because you only needed to be her turn.
Yeah. and she's been waiting patiently. Rumstar's one as well that I could see running very well. His form's gone off the boil a little bit. He won the Palace House at the start of the season. He also won the Charge at Sandown. He ran pretty well though in the Nunthorpe. He's fifth in the Nunthorpe behind Asfora. But he wasn't that good. It was probably a little bit disappointing at Newbury in last time out. On his best form, I'd give him an each way chance as well. So I'd probably take Rumstar and She's Quality, as they form with each other, and I think they're both going to be big prices. And as we both just said there, it could be their turn. The big one next, Dec, the Prix d'Arc de Triomphe. They had the big draw today on who fans on where a horse is coming out of. Ironically, a strange stall 18, now a non-runner. Although I think she was turned out lame. The Jap horses got some pretty bad draws. Croix de Nord out in 17. And 15. Bazante Dream. So look, fair play to them, sending 3 horses this far to try and win an arc. Like they're dying for it, and they will do it. It will. It's not if, it is when. And good old Hot as Hell, Dec, as you predicted, he'd end up in the arc at the end of the season, albeit he is 100 to 1.
Way too big to not have.
He is, yeah. No, he is. Yeah, he ran all right in the Irish Champion.
We haven't seen him at, he's a horse who won a mile Group 1 last November. Like he wanted every yard of it, and we haven't seen him over 12 furlongs. Like,
no.
There's every chance he could improve, but Jonathan, I felt all season Minnie Hawk was the horse to win this race. I think she only does enough. She's been getting a lot of stick, but after I seen her win at Chester, I fancied her for the Oaks. I think she does nothing in front. She's the perfect profile for a Group 1 middle distance filly who you want a bit of longevity about, because she's not doing a lot, it's hers to lose, I think. But I've had a bet on Gazora, because she won the Diane, and I thought she ran an absolute cracker the last day, and I know she was beaten by the favourite, was she?
Gazora, yeah. So she was beaten by
was she beaten by Aventur?
Yeah, she was. Yeah.
Beaten by Aventur. But look, Gazora's a 3-year-old. She's one of the Diane. That was her first run since then. I know Aventur hadn't ran since around the same time, but the horse ran in an arc last year.
Do you know who was third in that trial?
Bedtime Story,
and she's in a weak as piss Prix de Royal out. Yeah. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, no, I just think my thinking at the time was she was like the Diane winner, Prix de Diane winner was running in that race, and they're not going to let the French are not going to let a Prix de Diane winner go off in an arc at the price she was that day. I can't remember.
The Japs might though. By piling into
and obviously we haven't put we never got to put the World Pool out of business, although we get a bit of the goal.
Work in progress.
I still can't see her going off the price she is at the moment. 16 to 1. Like surely, like a Prix de Diane winner that ran well off a layoff and looks like she's going to improve again.
Yeah,
back her now. I can see her going off much shorter on the day, and I don't think she's going to be far away. But I do think it's Minnie Hawk's to lose. So Minnie Hawk's too close, too small to be punted on now, and I haven't taken the price, even though I've kind of thought she'd be the winner all year. So if she wins, she wins. I'll take that on the chin now.
7-2.
Yeah, I know, but like. Look, I'm not. It's still a very competitive race. I'm not going to get stuck into that. There's horses at Gowran this weekend that, at double figure prices that I'd rather be having a punt on. Okay. And I'm not a big gambler either. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm pointing at the favourites, and races like the Arc are so competitive. I don't really think you should be gambling heavy in. Like, I know you get sucked into it, and yeah, it's a great race, and you know, a bet helps some people enjoy it. I wouldn't need a bet in an arc to enjoy it, but like Hot as Hell is definitely worth a euro or two each way, or a couple of francs. And yeah, I think Azora will go off shorter as well, and she'll run a big race.
Yeah, good to see a White Birch as well, who I think could run a career best as well. He was a little bit one pace in our Champion Stakes, but
I
I'd
started
always
again. Cut across. We both backed them anti-post for the race, and I'd say everyone else who listens did as well, because we were told he'd win the race back in April or something.
Sorry, George told us he'd go well in it. Yeah, absolutely. And best of luck to them. It's great to see them with a runner in the arc.
In the sales as well, if anyone's got a few quid knocking around.
Yeah, I'll see if he's been withdrawn from that sale actually. No, he's in there 28th of October. Yeah. That's autumn horses in training. White Birch. Could you imagine sending an arc winner through the ring in a horses in training? It would be very funny.
I'd love what they
would cause mayhem. I wonder what they'd cost. But anyway, Quisasana was one that I kind of caught my eye. A mare by Lahar, a 5-year-old, but she's obviously taken a while to mature. Quite impressive in 3 starts this season, and we don't really know where her ceiling lies. Group 1 winner last time out of Deauville, beating Servi. The winning distance can probably be, upped, because she didn't really look like she was at the end of her tether. She's already won over 1.5 miles. Again, only in listed company, but was a very easy winner. Look, just given how unexposed she is, she still has to improve over a stone, I'd say. But given how unexposed she is, like, it's a competitive race, but there's no absolute standout. She could be one that maybe you have a few quid on at 25, 33 to 1. But for me, it is Mini Hawk as well. I think it's quite, like, Aidan running a 3-year-old filly is quite significant, especially supplemented one. I think the last 3-year-old filly he ran in it was Magical. Now, she was 9th or 10th, well beaten, but that was pretty much, I wouldn't even call it a bad race. She was actually unlucky in the run that day, but she went on to win the fillies and mares at Ascot after that, and then the rest is kind of history. She's an exceptional 4-year-old. So I think Mini Hawk is the one to be with myself, and I'll have a few quid on Quisasana as well for the arc. 2 more races from Longchamp Dec. The Prix de l'Opera, no sign of whirl. I'd say that Nassau Stakes. I'd say that Nassau Stakes knocked her out. Yeah,
I wouldn't have ran her into Vermoy. I'd have been targeting this race where I'd be not whirl Prix de l'Opera. Arc, but obviously they know best. So, but she ends up not here. I don't know. There's a couple of them in here, like, kind of looking at your heartstrings, and the like One Look.
Yeah,
we feel like we're talking about a long time. Bar Navarro, I know I've talked about many times.
There's no fluke last time out with what she did though. Like, she absolutely bolted up in the Blanford from the front. Yeah. Like, a replication of that, I think she wins.
Do you think so?
I do, yeah. Like, especially in France, like, if they let her out on the front end, she's obviously learned how to settle on the front end, and she's improved drastically from being able to do that. She's the one they have to beat, in my opinion, if she settles.
Okay, nice. We might take the long way. It was
good third.
Has the form with the form behind Mini Hawk and Whale, but she hasn't ran in a while, has she?
Yeah, about 2.5 months. 2.5 months since the Irish Oaks, isn't it?
Oh, it's the Irish Oaks, our last one, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look, I wouldn't put Anne past Joseph.
No, neither would I.
Wow.
Yeah. Maybe I thought the fillies and mares at Ascot might have been the plan there, but, well, I suppose they could still do that. She's had 2.5 months off, so could still well be the plan. So it's Bar Navarro for me. Who do you like there out of it? Do you have one in that, or?
Yeah, look, it might take the long way was the way it was going, but have a view on Bar Navarro, and you're making sense. I'll follow you in there.
All right, and the absolute granddaddy of the week, one of your favourite races, a 7 furlong Group 1, the Prix de la Forêt. So what kind of outsider? What kind of
second winning post as well? This is
the second, just in case we're coming up on it.
Boy, miles down there. This is worse than the Abbey.
More Thunder, a winner of the Hungerford Stakes, which is one of the multiple 7 furlong Group 2s in the space of about 4 weeks in the UK. Usually the one that no one goes for because it's worth the least amount of money. Bunbury Cup winner before that at odds of 6-5. I still can't bring myself to back a horse like that in a Group 1, even if it is a 7 furlong Group 1. Do you have one in this deck, or do you care that much?
No.
King's Gamble. He wouldn't be without a chance, but I don't think his form's good enough. Maybe Sajir for Andre Fab. Beat Lazat, who I thought was the best sprinter in Europe in the Maurice de Geest. And Lazat, he really struggled in that last half furlong. That Maurice de Geest was 6.5 furlongs, and I don't think Sajir is a 2 lengths better horse than Lazat. I think that's decent form, and he's the one I'd be with here. So it'd be Sajir for me in the Prix de la Forêt. And that brings us to an end deck of our Arc and Gowran coverage, just over an hour. Nap of the Tap is probably tap on the go in the beginner's chase, assuming he's a backable price. I think Western Fold would be too short. We both like Barnavara in the Blanford Stakes, and I suppose you could assume Mini Hawk as well in the Arc itself.
Yeah.
So that's it for ourselves. Any other closing comments?
I think just thinking back of probably Gordon's cruising trucking something, was it? And then McLaughlin's
on Friday.
Liceo, I think it was. You'll have to rewind and catch them again, but hopefully we're taking notes first time now.
Yeah, no, thoroughly enjoyed myself tonight, and then that lovely rock in the back that Shark Cannon won a point there. I can't even remember the name, but I've just left it in the background for the
holy relic of
the Fifinian Druid, and you wouldn't want that in a playoffs of a spelling bee, would you? Fyynnon. Hey, how do you even pronounce that? If you have any Welsh listeners, just
please
abbreviate that for us. Yeah. We'll send you out some merch if we had it. Right, until the next time, guys, that was Tap 115. Thoroughly enjoyed, or Tap 116, sorry. Thoroughly enjoyed that one. And all the best. Hopefully you have a few winners this weekend, and we'll see you next week for Tap 117. Bye-bye.
Cheers.